Hello, you lovely lot. Back again, Ramblings of the South Stand. Conor here. Hope you're doing fantastically well. And we're back again. We're back again with another match review, another match preview. We're back with just a general chat, really, about how we're doing, how Leeds United are doing, how we're progressing, and this, that, and the other. So, how am I feeling at the minute? I can hear you all asking. I'm absolutely fine, thank you very much. I'm buzzing at the minute. My football club is getting back to its best. Again, the sleeping giants are very in force at the minute. We're coming back. We're heard everywhere. We're seen everywhere, over the continent, over the globe. And it is just fantastic at the minute being a Leeds United supporter. I'm absolutely buzzing. We've got Sheffield United at the weekend. A little bit later on, I'm going to get into a little bit of a preview on those. Going to talk about Reading first and foremost. I want to go on about that. I really enjoyed that performance. And we're just going to have a little bit of a chat of where I think Leeds are, what I think we can do, and how I think realistically it's going to go. So let's move into Reading anyway. What a performance by the Whites. Once again, going out there, setting from the off, the standstill. We look fantastic from moment one. Again, starting quick. You cannot underestimate how massive that is, starting quick in a Marcelo Bielsa team. That is where his faults have been in the past with Marcelo. His teams haven't started quick enough. He's obviously got injuries before, and that's why his squad have suffered from burnout. But he's not getting that at the minute. He's not getting that. The squad is getting to full fitness. We're performing week in, week out, and I say that based on the past 3 games. But, you know, that's five wins in 6, and we're one of the form teams in the division again. Up there with Norwich, up there with Sheffield United in the form. You know, we went on a little bit of a run where, you know, we lost 5 in 11, and it wasn't, you know, we're all getting a little bit worried, including myself. But it's turning round a little bit now. Leeds haven't conceded in 3. And I thought we started the game really well. And that's what we'll always need to do, Leeds. We need to start the game from the off, because then what happens is when we score, we control the game. And that element, that word is crucial with Leeds United, because control is all part of our game. We want to control the game. We keep the ball. The opposition aren't allowed the ball. Leeds dictate the tempo. We dictate the dynamism, the pragmatism, the pace, everything. Leeds dictate that by keeping hold of the ball, keeping hold of possession, and being effective and having a killer instinct in possession, and in defensive aspects as well. I think last night, the good, the bad, and the ugly from last night. Really, I thought the ugly bit was probably the start of the game where Alioski was getting caught out quite a little bit. That worried me a little bit at the start. You know, I was saying to my partner, I was a little bit worried. The first 10 minutes, you know, obviously we got into it really well. But Reading, I thought, started quite well. I mean, they're in a false position as it is for me anyway. You know, 1 loss in 8. They're a decent side. You know, the last time someone beat them at home, Sheffield United. So I was expecting us to go there and get the victory 100%, because we need to if we're going to get into the top 2. But I was expecting it to be a really difficult game. And as I said, a couple of things with Alioski, a couple of things with Ayling. I thought Ayling had a really good game, and as did Alioski. But I thought defensively, maybe at the start, there was a couple of times where both of them were caught out. A couple of rash tackles from Ayling as well. And I thought, okay, we need to shore that up a little bit. But listen, the offensive strategy, the offensive technical ability we have going forward, in one man, one genius, Pablo Hernandez, Matthias Klick, another one, Harrison, who I'm really impressed with at the minute. It's all coming together nicely. The depth is getting back as well. You know, you look at your Douglases coming back, your Berardis, Shackleton's on the 4 constantly. Izzy Brown, we're wondering when he's going to be coming in. Is he going to come in at all? Excuse the pun. Kim Roof to come back in this side. Does he get in this side at the minute? I don't think so. I don't think you could take Roberts out, but then again, he scored 15 goals as Kim Roof, so you've got to take that into contention. But what I'm saying with all these points, guys, is we have options. And there is so many points this season where Leeds haven't had options. You know, and I think the one man I will attribute all of this success to in a minute, the recent success anyway, I'll get to in a second, but the game started out okay, but Leeds grew and grew and grew, and we took control. That key word, Leeds took control, and we scored early on. Really nice finish. Matthias Klick, brilliant goal from Leeds. Lovely little step over from Bamford, and Klick rolling it into the bottom hand corner. Then it was the maestro's turn. Hernandez with 2 absolutely pitch perfect finishes. Absolutely superb. And that's what we come to expect from Pablo Hernandez. His best season as a footballer for me. I used to watch him in the Premier League for Swansea on that right hand side. You know, I remember him playing a little bit in the Champions League for Valencia, and I'm not saying that I've watched him every single season, but I feel like I've grasped a decent understanding on how Pablo's played year on, year out, sort of thing. And for me, so far this season, and in a Leeds shirt, it's his best season. He's been phenomenal. He's like a fine wine. He's getting better with age, and he showed it last night with 2 expert finishes. I thought from 1 to 11 we were really good last night. As I said, I mentioned the good, the bad, and the ugly. The ugly probably was the defensive side at the start. If I'm being hypercritical, I would say the bad maybe just giving away silly little fouls, but that's because Leeds are eager to get the ball. In this system, we have to get the ball first. You've seen it with Click. He gets in first, but he might give a foul away. Let's say if John Swift gets in there first. You saw Calvin sort of take John Swift out last night. You saw Cleat getting in on McCleary as well, and 2 silly fouls maybe by Ayling as well. We're just giving Reading a few opportunities there to get back in the side, and I do back in the game, and I do feel maybe if that was a better quality side, i.e. Sheffield United, there could have been potential there for them to score a goal. So all I'm saying is, heads on for that game, and defensively, I think we can completely shut Sheffield United out, touch wood. But if we're on our game, let's say when we're playing in the last 2 games, I think we've been Bristol City as well. That was underrated how good that defensive performance was yesterday. I'd say it was a little bit more susceptible for me, but the bad, the ugly is so heavily outweighed by the good. Leeds were excellent last night. A fantastic, scintillating, pragmatic performance, which I was very proud of. Going nuts in a pub, and brilliant fans all the way down there. Once again, 5,000 of you on a Tuesday night. You mad lot and you beautiful lot, singing your hearts out. The Argentina Bielsa song is going through my head consistently today, which I love. And I'm just in a good headspace at the minute because I love what this club is doing. It's making me happy again. I'm happy to watch football. I have hope going and watching football, which is a really lovely feeling to have. But as I say, guys, we've got Sheffield United coming up. Now, will not be an easy game at all. I'd say us and them, it's nip and tuck. We beat them at Bramall Lane. We got the better of them, but, it was a mistake, wasn't it, from Dean Henderson? I thought it was very even. Leeds had three real chances in that game. Sheffield United had 3 real chances in that game. 2 sides who like to have the ball. We like to move it quickly. Our centre-halves like to come out from the back. I don't think Chris Wilder gets enough credit for what he's done. I really don't think he does. If he was called Crisinho Waldinho, he'd be getting all the praise he should get. And the man has done excellently with that Sheffield United squad. He's kept the core of it from League One. You've got centre halves like Basham who came up with them through League One, and obviously you've got just a multitude of players who didn't quite make it. Ollie Norwood not quite making it at Brighton. Sharp not quite making it at multiple clubs. McGoldrick at Ipswich sort of being pushed out a tiny bit, and then him sort of falling out of favour there a little bit. So they're a team of misfits, and that's why I love what Sheffield United have done, because I come on here and I'm real with you guys. I really like what Sheffield United have done. I like what Norwich have done, if I'm being brutally honest with you. I like that style of football, and I think it's quite nice to not see the relegated clubs, all 3 of them absolutely dominating the division. I think it's nice for 3 lower budget sides to be actually fighting it out at the top of the division. I think it's nice. I think it's refreshing. But as I say, Sheffield United is going to be a real task, 100%. And I think whoever wins that game is going to... It's not just, I said it in a previous video, it's a psychological thing. We've seen in the past 3 games, I think one man has been a big impact for me, and I think the psychological impact of this implementation of a player has given Leeds a little bit of a step up. And I think us losing potentially, or Sheffield United losing, it's a massive. I mean, don't get me wrong, we'll still have 24 points to play for, but knowing that you've been beaten by the team who you sort of gunning for second place for, and that's a massive confidence sort of like degradation. I think that's really pivotal, to be quite frank. But as I keep saying, the main man for me at the minute is Patrick Bamford. I think he's changed a lot of how Leeds play. I think when we struggle in possession now, we actually have an outlet. We have a 6'2" outlet who can win the ball. We saw it last night. There was a lot of times where Reading were pressing up from the front. Meite, Barrow, they're all pressing from the front. And I thought it was really interesting how Leeds, sometimes we went long, we went straight to the striker. Paddy was able to hold it up and Leeds could break quickly. He's got a silky touch. He's excellent on the ball, and he sort of brought Leeds out of the shell a little bit. Now, we've not had that with Kimar. Kimar's had to, run the channels. He's very quick up front as well. He gives us something a little bit different. But Patrick, there is no coincidence that defensively we look better on set pieces, because you've got a 6'2" individual who can help the likes of Janssen, Cooper, Alioski, Ayling. There's no coincidence there. I noticed yesterday there was a couple of corners where Patrick headed out himself, but going forward as well, he just gives us a little bit of a different dynamic. I really, really like how Bamford plays, and I think he's given us something a bit different, and I genuinely believe that he has been pivotal, if not the one factor which has made Leeds sort of, there's a little bit of a confidence boost. 100%. It's no coincidence that we've started to play how we have literally when Bamford's been back in the fore. I really like the consistency of the squad at the minute. The same 11, it breeds success. I say it on multiple videos. Burnley, Huddersfield are my key examples. But yeah, and I think going into the Sheffield United game, I think it's something that they're going to have to take into consideration because, when we played them last time, it was Kimar up front. He didn't really get much service. It was a bit nip and tuck. This time you've got someone a bit different. You've got a different dynamic who you're going to have to prepare for. I think Bamford, we all have a laugh and joke about how maybe like Tory he is and all this sort of stuff and how he comes from good stock. He can still put himself about, guys. He's still a physical asset. You saw that with him last night against Andy Yiddim and Meazga. You saw that last night, So he has got a little bit about that, from his game like that. And I think that'll suit him against the Sheffield United side. I genuinely do. I think you saw against West Brom a physical on physical sort of offensive player on a defensive player. It doesn't even need to be physical. It's just a big person to contend with. It gives the defence a little bit more to think on, I'm not saying Kimar Roof wasn't good at that or anything. He's just different stature. It's a different striker to contend with, and I think Sheffield United are definitely going to have to prepare for Patrick Bamford because they've been preparing for Kimar Roof in the previous game, and it's very different now. So I find that really, really interesting as something that could work in our advantage. Roberts and Cleek, look, it's like Cleek, I think, dropped off a little bit, but I think now he's found his sort of Samuel Saiz replacement in Roberts. I think he found it a little bit in Roof as well. It's just that person who can occupy other defenders as well. Excuse me, not just him. And I really, really like what he's doing at the minute, Cleek and Roberts together. I really love that partnership. But as I say, going back into the Sheffield United thing, I'm going to dip back into Sheffield United through this, guys. I think, I love how they play. I've said it before. But it's going to be a different game for them. We've got a lot of fit players back now. The squad's looking stronger than it did when we played them last. If you remember, we put a Jack Clark in because we didn't really have anyone else to put in there. We lost Dallas obviously through the match as well, and we were threadbare there. And I think me included, a lot of Leeds fans were going to Sheffield United and we thought we were going to get pumped. We really did, and we came away, and it was a really even game. Pablo Hernandez probably the best player on the pitch that day, and consequently getting the goal. And it was a massive victory down there. But as I've said, there's 24 points to play for, guys. I think it's key that we manage expectations. It's game by game, Sheffield United this weekend, okay, we prepare for that. We don't look further ahead. And I think as fans, we tend to get excited. I do in particular. But at the end of the day, it's game by game by game. Sheffield United offers something different to Millwall. Millwall offers something different to Preston. You've got to take it game by game, feet on the ground, and we be there in numbers as we are every single week and support the lads, and we'll try get them over that finish line. The correlations between 89 are all there to see. There's the Strachan double and speed as well. When we beat Sheffield United 4-0, you can't help looking at that. But another thing you can't help looking at as well, guys, is other teams' form. I'm seeing a lot of people, and obviously Oscar on the channel, he says we can't be looking at other teams' form, and I get that, but I also sort of like disagree with that because we do need elements of luck. You need elements of luck from teams slipping up, of course you do, because that's what gets you into the spots. The goal difference is a massive thing for Leeds, but if we can't just rely on that, we need to also rely on other teams slipping up, in certain games. I don't believe that we're going to get 27 points out of 27 coming up. Do I think it's going to happen? It could happen. Do I think it's realistic? I don't think it's realistic. No, I think we've got a lot of tough games coming up, and I think you've got to be realistic, really realistic, not a little bit naive and think just because we're playing how we're playing, we're going to blow every single team out of the water. The Championship isn't like that. And if you think that, what I've just said, then you've not been a Leeds supporter long enough in the Championship. It doesn't even care regardless if Bielsa is here, because Bielsa has experienced a downturn in momentum as well. So, the magic man he is human, is basically what I'm trying to say. As of this is a team that finished 13th last season. We all still need to remember that. The job this man is doing is it's literally uncomparable, and it's brilliant. It really is excellent. So We've just got to go into the final furlong with a lot of positivity, a lot of hope, which I do feel. You know, our last 2 games I've predicted wins for. Bit of a novelty, I know you're all thinking. But I think we'll get the win or potentially a draw against Sheffield United. You know, would you take a draw? I think it looks like it could be a draw. I think, and I base that purely on the fact that I think 2 teams were both... It's nip and tuck. I don't think there's much separating us and Sheffield United. I think we've got a little bit more quality. But that's really it. So it just depends, really. There's a lot of dependence and a lot of variables going into that game. But, you know, I really like some players in that Sheffield United squad. Duffy, Norwood, McGoldrick, Sharp. I really like Egan at the back as well. Basham bringing it out. And I think aside from us, Dean Henderson, the goalkeeper's actually had a really good season. But they can vary it up as well. Sheffield United, you know, you've got the young lad coming off the bench as well who seems to feature. Seems to be, I think he's called Dowell. He seems to be not as good, obviously, but he seems to be in the mould of Brooks. And we know what Brooks did at Ellen Road last season. He was absolutely terrific. And I think that game pretty much got his move to Bournemouth in the Premier League, where he's gone from strength to strength. So, hey, we know this isn't a game to be taken lightly at all. 100%. It's going to be a massively tough game. But, you know, it's all positive at the minute, guys. It's all rainbows and sunshines. There might be a reality check soon. I'm hoping it's not going to be at the weekend. I don't think it will be. But let's keep our feet on the ground. Let's take it game by game. And it's excellent at the minute, isn't it? A fantastic win last night. I just wanted to send this video out as well, just when Liverpool are playing Bayern. So I know a lot of you fans can't be bothered with that. We just want to talk about Leeds, don't we? So that's what I wanted to do anyway. So make sure, guys, you like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about the rest of the season. Do you think we're going to go unbeaten? Do you think we're going to go 9-9? Do you think we're going to slip up at some points? I personally think Brentford could be a little bit of a tough one. I think Birmingham away could be a tough one. Let me know what you guys think. You know, we've got obviously Villa coming up, Wednesday coming up at home as well. But I think we'll come through it. I really do. But I think it's people talking about us getting to that 88-point mark and 90-point mark. You know, you forget that this is a Leeds United side who finished 7th with a record amount of points for 7th place. It's not going to be easy. We never know. It's never easy at Leeds, is it? So I think, you know, we've just got to win our games and not look at the final point tally. But anyway, guys, like I've said, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in a bit.